cougar relationships, they're hotter than ever, with older whammons rushing to snatch up eager young men half their age. If the genders were reversed, it would be nothing but reading about all those PDF files and predators preying on these poor younger women and girls. But it's okay when female predators do it. Really funny how that works. Now, what's also funny is a lot of these starter girlfriends don't even realize that they're the ones being used, but that's, don't tell them. Channing Miller has always dated men close to her age, usually a few years older. In fact, after a hobo breakup in current year -7, she decided she needed to rob the cradle. Oh, I'm sorry, I fixed that on the fly. The rapist, had an idea suggesting she look at guys outside her usual range. Do these people also advise men to do the same? Hey, you're pushing 40. Why don't you try dating a 19-year-old? He was like, go 10 years up and 10 years down just to see. Mueller, who runs her own communications firm in Chicago, recalled to the Post. So Mueller, then 34, went on a dating app Bumble and changed her age preferences. She was surprised when a 24-year-old almost immediately reached out. Yes, you're the starter girlfriend. So this is a problem that guys have been talking about in the MGTOW sphere for years. That as soon as girls hit 18 and they become of legal age, they immediately start going for the older sugar daddies. And all of the jocks, basically, like in their age group, are suddenly finding it harder to get laid at the level they were before. So a lot of them, just out of lack of options until they get their finances in order and can become the rich sugar daddies that the 18-year-old girls go for. They got to make do with starter girlfriends, aka cougars. But don't tell the cougars that. He asked me out on a date. He planned the date, and before the first date was even over, he was like, "When can I see you again?" She said. Then he offered to come pick me up for the second date. Like, dude, I haven't had sex in weeks, and you'll do. Yeah, you don't look that bad. You'll do. She was taken aback. The guy was so clear with his intentions, so mature, so with it. He studied. He knew exactly what to do and say, and it worked, didn't it? Especially compared to her ex. At that moment, she said, I realized that emotional maturity and numerical age do not go together. Once again, imagine the genders reversed. If this was like some 40-year-old man saying this about his 20-year-old girlfriend. Mueller is now 40 and almost exclusively dates younger guys. She once even enjoyed a dalliance with a guy 14 years her junior. They're now good friends. Well, as long as you're friends with benefits, I'm sure that's why he keeps you around. Like, well, if no one else is available, you'll do. Sure, sometimes these bright-eyed youths have roommates. Sometimes they have a squalid bachelor pads. Sometimes they don't get her pop culture references. Well, does it count as a pop culture reference if you're referencing things that are 30 years out of date? Or seem to need a mother more than they need a girlfriend, but more often than not, they're less jaded, more open-minded, and more fun than their middle-aged counterparts. You're gonna beat that out of them, aren't you? They're more open to going on dates that make it seem like I'm interviewing you for marriage, Mueller said, and boy, do they know how to have a good time. That's because they're using you for something. You know what it is. I don't have to say. They will take her ice skating or mini golfing or to a dueling piano bar or a rockress karaoke joint. It was a very eye-opening experience. She hinted that their curiosity and enthusiasm extended into the bedroom too. I would say that they're eager. Mueller demurred when asked about more details. It's highly possible that my brother could read this, she explained, diplomatically leaving it at that. Well, you don't have to give your real, you don't have to show your real photos and give your real name and all that. Age gap relationships are nothing new, but it does seem like the cougar is having a real moment. So start calling them out for robbing cradles. The gossip pages are full of mature, self-assured whammons out and about with a younger paramour. Pop icon Cher, 79, is dating a 38-year-old music producer. She likely has way more money than him. Guys can be gold diggers too. Madonna, 77, has claimed soccer star Akeem Morris, 29, as her latest boy toy. Actress Sienna Miller, 43, is expecting her second child with hunky 29-year-old Ollie Green. And yet, Leonardo DiCaprio is doing something wrong when he does the same thing. On the big screen, Nicole Kidman turned heads in Current Year -2, playing a high-powered CEO who lets herself be dominated by the office intern in Baby Girl. Even more recently, Gwyneth Paltrow made a comeback in Marty Supreme as the aging actor. She has an affair with a much younger Timothy Chalamet. Look, that's what they fetishize. Like that's what they want. But guys as a whole have kind of failed that shit test. These portrayals, complex, nuanced, and yes, sexy, are a far cry from the caricatures of predatory cougars from the past, from Gloria Swanson's grotesque aging diva in Sunset Boulevard to Anne Bancroft's smoldering but depressive housewife in The Graduate. So do the same thing for men next. Do some stories of like 50-year-old dudes getting 18-year-old girlfriends and spin it in a positive light. It does help, said Junie Moon, a love and relationship expert who specializes in coaching whammies over 50. When you see Sharon Madonna or really anyone out there is showing that is showing a whammons like, hey, I have just as much of a right to date whoever I want to date, just like a man. Well, and just like a man, you're going to get the same level of fucking criticism. All the shit you've been flinging is going to come back at you. Right, the more the idea of being a whams of the younger man becomes normalized, the more we all go, hey, why not me? Just wait till the divorces start happening. I have these vibrant, amazing whammons I work with in their 50s, 60s, and 70s, and they're fit, they're strong, and they don't need no man, right? They want to bounce around and have a big life. They need to find themselves. They're not ready to settle down yet. And they sometimes are finding that men are slowing down. She continues, these whammons are like, I need to go younger. And it's like, why not? I come from a long line of cougars. That's how Charlene Dufresne introduced herself to a reporter one day in late December. She's a 50-year-old artist and founder of Intimacy Cards, a deck of playing cards designed to encourage deep conversation among friends and strangers. So it's a porn card game. Okay. And yes, dating young men does run in her family. It's a defect. Now, her mother, Susan, is 11 years older than her husband. They met at Michael's craft store in San Jose, California 20 years ago. So it's not her dad. Charlene's older sister is a long-term relationship with the man 14 years of junior, has a 13-year-old daughter with him. Are you sure? 3 years ago, Charlene married a guy 12 years younger than her. I'm sure part of it is because we look younger. Sherry, who also spoke to the Post, agreed it's not about age. It's about compatibility and having similar values. Guys, take note. All of these excuses are fine when they use them, so you're free to use it now too. When you got all these 50-year-old women shrieking at you that you need to date them instead of the 18-year-old fucking Applebee's waitress, now you got the ammo. Sharon Charlene grew up in San Jose, surrounded by high-spirited whammons who often attracted boyish suitors. So they're PDF files by their own standards, or at least by the standards men have been judged by for so fucking long. Call them what they are. Their grandmother on their father's side is actually 11 years older than the girl's grandfather, her second husband, something he affectionately teased her about. Their mother, meanwhile, loved to go dancing, often just provocatively, and hit the clubs with her friends. Yeah, meanwhile, the entire rest of the club is like, bitch, you're 60, dress your age. You're 60, not 16. I remember being like, Mom, that skirt is way too short, or you're showing too much cleavage. She had her first facelift when she was like 35. Probably already looked 50. After Susan divorced the girl's dad when Sherry was a teen and Charlene was 9, she almost exclusively dated younger men and told her daughters not to tell her boyfriends her real age. Not that it mattered. My mom's got so much energy. I don't think an older man could have kept up with her. It's not like the men can't keep up. It's more that all that energy is being wasted on stupid shit that they'd rather not do. Sharon and Charlene did not intend to follow in their mother's footsteps. In their early 20s, they both dated older men. Because that's when they needed the money. They needed the sugar daddies. So when they're younger, they went for the sugar daddies, and then when they get older, they go for the boy toys. Sherry eventually married a man close to her age, but as she reached her late 30s, the union began to unravel. That's when she met her current partner online. The two bonded over music, including divergent bands Modest Mouse and the Beatles, and literature. He immediately read the first book I suggested to him. Oh, this guy, he knows how to play the game. Yeah. When Keith, who asked his last name not be used for professional reasons, he doesn't want his friends laughing at him. Picked her up at the Philadelphia International Airport. She asked to see his ID. He looked way younger than 27, which was his actual age at the time. He looked 17, even though she was almost 40. They connected instantly. I bet she looked like she was 50, though. Oh, Keith has a lot of the same social references that I have somehow. Only rarely do we feel the gap, maybe because I have a lot of friends of varying ages, I think. No, it's because you never grew up. That's why. All of these old whammons never really matured past their teens. So that's why they could get along with these younger men so well. It actually does make sense. During one of their early meetings, she proposed they do a soul gaze, which is when two people look deep into each other's eyes without talking. That's when I realized I'm supposed to be with this person. That's playing the game 101, man. 17 years later, they live in Pennsylvania's Lehigh Valley, where Keith is a teacher and Sherry is a colon the rapist. So she does pegging as a profession? They have a 13-year-old daughter who keeps asking them when they're going to get married. We're still together. We're still doing very well. Funny enough, Cougar sis Charlene was the only person who initially teased Sherry about her age gap relationship. At the time, she was living in LA, and after a 7-year relationship with an older man she barely dated. But when she turned 40, she also uprooted her life, moved to Berlin, and downloaded Tinder. I used to be the kind of conservative, like I wouldn't do the dirty with anyone if I didn't want them to be my boyfriend. And then I came to Berlin, and I'm like, oh, this is my slutty era. And that is exactly why you got that younger guy, because you're giving him what he wants, and he doesn't need to do anything in return, really, other than play the game. She decided to experience her 20s and her early 40s. Yep. Oh, yeah. This bitch is already well into middle age, and she's like, I need to find myself. And so the men she went out with tend to have been younger, too. I noticed that it did turn them on when they would find out how old I was and want to see more. I felt very much more powerful sexually. What, you be being used as their trainer? A couple years after her move, she met her current husband, Philip, at a birthday party. He made me laugh. I wanted to see him again. So, how many guys did you sleep with at that party, though? And why'd you pick him out of all of them? Charlene assumed Philip was significantly younger than her. Their mutual friends were all in their late 20s, early 30s, but she didn't know if he knew she was older. Well, you could tell by looking. I mean, these women, most of the time, they're kidding themselves. Like a few of them are able to hold onto their looks pretty well into their late 30s, even. But most of them, they're like, oh man, like how could you tell I was 60? I don't know, the turkey neck, maybe. No, I mentioned we had a big age difference, and he was like, I don't care, it doesn't matter. And I was like, really? You sure? But then when he did find out, he said it was fine. Yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm only in it for your money anyway. So afraid of me dying before him. Well, don't worry, man. I'm sure you're going to push him into an early grave. Although she said they were well matched, Charlene recently began to feel the gap in the ages more acutely. For one, his friends have recently started having children, and Charlene is no longer able to have kids. And then, since his mother died of cancer during Corona, Phil has been extra attentive to Charlene's health. He's always afraid of me dying before him, Charlene said. Oh, wow, maybe he really does care. And there are, of course, the insecurities that so many whammons feel to maintain their looks and figures, and now ever more present in the age of GLP-1s and deep plane facelifts and Botox. Well, regardless, they can't really compete with 2D anyway. She can't help but sometimes feel the fear that my husband is going to leave me because I'm too old. I guess it depends. I mean, maybe if he's in it for the long game to get your inheritance, probably not. Right now, I'm fine, but in 20 years when I'm 70, will he be happy to be next to me, to be my partner? And he says yes, of course, but who knows? Oh, that would be awkward. Oh, hey, what a cute mother and son. However, if she ever needs a pick-me-up, she could look to her mother. Susan at 81 is energetic and sanguine as ever. Indeed, the floor designer couldn't see any drawbacks having a younger romantic partner at all. As she puts it, why would a Whammons want to be with an old man? And yet guys are called PDF files when they say, why would a guy want to be with an old woman? Yeah, I got nothing. I got nothing against women that do this, but I'm going to keep fucking calling this out until the double standard finally goes away. You don't get to rip on men for preferring younger women and call them PDF files for it and then turn around and do the same shit. Nah, man, ain't gonna work that way.